Can anybody stop Manchester City marching towards yet another Premier League title? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Yes guys, I'm here to predict the scores for week 10 of this 2022-2023 Premier League season. As you may or may not have noticed, Nathan cannot make it this evening. He's engaged in other stuff, mainly editing Cardiff City videos. So you're stuck with me this evening, but what I can tell you is that last week's top scorer was Jimmy Hammer with 16 points and 1 perfect score, which means at the top of the leaderboard still is Louis Smith 17 on 86.5 points, followed by Ferris 77, who has moved up a spot into second position on 84.5 points. But let's get into this week's predictions and get down to business. So we kick things off on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Normally we've got a lunchtime kick-off, but we've got a few 3 p.m. kickoffs on Saturday, and that's the Cherries. Bournemouth taking on Leicester City. Now Leicester City, a fine victory over Nottingham Forest last time out at home. James Maddison, brilliant in that fixture. Bournemouth themselves up to the heady heights of 13th position, haven't lost now in their last 4 matches, drawing 3 and gaining a victory as well. Not sure what to make of this one. Surely Leicester City tails are full of confidence now. They are scoring a lot of goals, Leicester. In the last 3 matches, they've actually scored 8 goals. So that should breed a lot of confidence for this fixture. And I think they will come away with 3 points in this one. It's going to be a tight match. I can see them scoring a couple of goals, but they do tend to have a leaky defence against Nottingham Forest. That was their first clean sheet of the season as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to the Foxes in this one. And Nathan, he's actually gone for a draw in this one. He can't actually see Leicester going away to the South Coast and winning. He's gone for a 1-1 draw. So next up, also at 3 o'clock on Saturday, we've got Chelsea at home against Wolves. Now Wolves only scoring 3 goals this season, finding it very, very difficult to score. Of course, Diego Costa, if he gets on the pitch, will be facing his former employees in Chelsea. In this one though, I think it should be a straightforward victory to Chelsea, who've won their last 2 fixtures, 2-1 against West Ham and another 2-1 win away against Chelsea. In this one, I don't think they'll concede because Wolves are having a terrible time in front of goal. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Chelsea. And Nathan agrees he's gone exactly the same as me in this one. He's gone for a 2-0 win to the Blues as well. We move on to another team who play in blue, which is Manchester City. In imperious form, a fine 6-3 victory against Manchester United in that Manchester derby last weekend. Haaland, there's no more words you can say about him. Hat tricks galore, scoring for fun. Foden as well, getting a hat trick too. They did concede 3 goals in that second half though. So I think Manchester City against Southampton. Southampton currently find themselves in 16th position. 3 defeats now on the bounce, only scoring 1 goal in those 3 matches. So this is a straightforward victory to me. It's just how many goals Manchester City will score, and I think they'll score 4. So 4-0 for the citizens. Nathan's gone 1 more than me, and he's gone for a 5-0 home victory to Man City. We move on to the final 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday between Newcastle United and Brentford. Brentford last time out gaining a creditable, you could say, 0-0 draw against Bournemouth, but they're finding it a little bit difficult to score at the moment. In their last 5 matches, they've only scored more than once in 1 match, and that was in a 5-2 victory against Leeds United. So that was their only win in their last 5 as well. Newcastle up to 7th position now. A good away win in London against Fulham in their last fixture. I fully expect them to get all 3 points back in the northeast of the country as well. Isaac is still missing. I'm not sure. I think St. Maximum as well could be missing for this one, but Almiron's in fine form, getting amongst the goals. Whether they concede or not, I'm not sure. It's just a matter of, will that defence hold up against Ivan Toney, who's been blanking recently as well. Tight affair, but I think Newcastle will win this one in front of their home fans, and I'm going for a 2-1 home win. And Nathan has gone again, exactly the same as myself. He thinks the Magpies are going to win this one 2-1. We then move on to the 5:30 kick-off tea time in the UK, live on Sky between Brighton and Spurs. Now, Brighton going up 2-0 ahead against Liverpool, and Liverpool, of course, came back into that match to finish 3-3, and Spurs losing the North London derby against Arsenal. Some people saying that Spurs threw in the towel in that match after they had a player sent off. Another tight one, it is at Brighton's home ground. This is fourth against third. Brighton, brilliant this season. They got the joint second meanest defence in the division. Of course, remember, Everton have the meanest defence, only conceding 7 goals this season. Brighton 8. Tight match against Spurs. Spurs drawing 0-0 in Europe on Tuesday evening. Another tight one. However, Brighton have impressed me so much this season. Of course, Trossard, first player in how long? I think it was Andrei Arshavin, the last player to score a hat-trick at Anfield. So I think Brighton are going to win this one, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 scoreline. Son at the moment, flatter and deceiver a little bit. I know he scored a hat-trick a couple of game weeks ago, but I'm going to go for a Seagulls victory in this one, 2-1. Nathan, however, thinks Spurs is going to bounce back in this one. He told me earlier that Conte is going to get into these Spurs players. He doesn't think they're going to concede, and he thinks it's going to end up 1-0 to Spurs. We then move on to Sunday, where Crystal Palace entertain Leeds, Selhurst Park in London. Kick-off at 2 o'clock live on Sky in the UK. Tight match this one. Crystal Palace, though, only one victory this season, which was at home against Aston Villa. They're coming up against a Leeds side who only one victory themselves in their last 6 fixtures, which was at home against Chelsea. However, on the road they lost their last 2 matches. I don't think there's going to be many goals in this one, and I think Crystal Palace will just edge it 1-0. And Nathan, he thinks it's going to end up all square, and he's gone for a 1-1 scoreline. Next, also at 2 o'clock on Sunday, we've got West Ham coming up against Fulham. Now, Fulham, all sorts of injury woes at the moment, the biggest of which is Mitrovic. To me, from what my research has been doing, I don't think he's going to be ready for this weekend. And another massive blow is the suspension of Polina in the centre of midfield. They've got other injury issues as well. Notably, Harry Wilson has been out for quite a while now. I think they will score, but West Ham moving up the table now. A good home win against Wolves in the last fixture. I think there'll be goals in this one, and I can see West Ham winning this one comfortably 3-1. I do think they'll concede. And Nathan actually thinks that Fulham is going to come away with all 3 points. I'm not sure how they're going to score more than 1 goal in this one, and he's gone for a 2-1 away victory for Fulham at the London Stadium. Next, we've got the 4:30 kick-off between Arsenal and Liverpool. Massive match this one. Liverpool have to win if they're going to realistically challenge for the title. They had a good win in Europe, a totally, you could say, dominant display against Rangers. Could have scored more in that one, but didn't take their chances. Coming up against an Arsenal side, top of the table, a brilliant win in the North London derby over Spurs. I think there's going to be goals in this one. I think Liverpool have really got to go for it. Arsenal as well can take advantage of that. Their defence sometimes can be a little bit leaky. However, I think they're going to edge this one 3-2 in an absolute humdinger of a game. Yeah, 3-2 to the Gunners for me in this one. Nathan as well thinks there's going to be lots of goals in this one, but he's gone for Desmond's. He's gone for a 2-2 draw. We then move on to the 7 o'clock kick-off on Sunday evening. If this was a match where you had to travel a long distance, then I would feel for those fans, but it is Everton against Manchester United. And Manchester United have had trouble going to Goodison Park recently. Last season they were defeated 1-0. I think it's going to be another tight match, this one. Everton with the meanest defence in the division. Before Manchester United got thumped by Man City last weekend, they were on a 4-game winning run and looked full of confidence, but I think Everton will keep the scoreline down, and I can actually see them carving out a 1-1 draw at home. I think there'll be an excellent atmosphere up there at Goodison Park. However, Nathan thinks that Manchester United, the Red Devils, are going to come away with all 3 points in this one, and he thinks they're not going to concede in this one, and he thinks Man United will win 1-0. And the final fixture of this game, week 10, sees Nottingham Forest take on Aston Villa on Monday evening in front of the Sky cameras, kicking off at 8 o'clock. Nottingham Forest. Now, Steve Cooper, could this game seal his fate, and could he be going out the door? Their Greek owners, I believe, have given him this game. If they don't win, then yeah, he could be facing the chop. For myself, I think his players, they're going to have to come out and do something. I don't think they'll win though, but I think they will score. But Aston Villa, currently in 14th position, haven't lost in 3 matches, 2 draws and a win, but they've only won 2 matches this season to Nottingham Forest's 1. I think this is going to end up all square and it'll finish 1-1. Whether Cooper keeps his job in this one, I don't know, but Nathan seems to think that Aston Villa are going to come away with all 3 points, and he told me earlier today that he thinks this is Cooper's last game, so he's gone for a 2-1 away win to the Villains. So that concludes our predictions for week 10 of this 2021-2022 Premier League season. As usual, make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. Myself and Nathan does this every week. As I said, link in the description, and there's the league code as well. So we're both thinking that Cooper will be sacked this weekend, which will be terrible, especially after 10 matches. But I think something's got to happen there, especially with them signing something like, was it 15, 16, 17 players in the close season. So thank you once again for joining me. Remember to leave your predictions also in the comment section as well. Have a great weekend watching these Premier League matches. I'm looking forward to Arsenal against Liverpool and Manchester City. Let's see if Haaland can continue his goal scoring prowess and in front of goal. But for now, I bid you farewell, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.